Welcome to the Songwriter Connection, the podcast that delves deep into the art and heart of songwriting. Each week, we gather around the dining room table to uncover the stories behind the songs. We invite you to join us on a journey to the creative minds of the songwriters who shape the melodies of our lives. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
Well, thank you for joining us. There are a lot of podcasts out there, especially ones that deal with music. But we deal with songwriting, the craft of songwriting, and I'm so glad that you have found us. And we've got, if all things go as planned, this is episode 198. And if you're listening to it the day it come out, it's supposed to be March the 5th. You know, we work about 5-6 weeks in advance, and sometimes things change. But let me tell you, today we kind of have like a two for today. Let me tell you, I'm really excited about having our guest today. What I mean by twofer, there's this band you need to know about. They're called Brother Maven. Okay? Really, really good. And then a songwriter that we're going to tell you about too, named Daniel Mason. And I can't wait to tell you their story. Just listen to a little bit of this right now.
If you didn't have that sweet little smile, fill my heart with every desire, there'd be no need to worry, I won't stop loving you.
Is that you singing, Daniel? Daniel Mason is with us. Daniel, how are you, buddy?
How's it going, Dave?
Good to have you.
That is me singing.
That's you singing. What an amazing voice.
Thank you, man.
What I love about you guys, you've defined what you do. Your brand is American rock and soul. And baby, let me tell you, it definitely is.
Thank you.
Baby, from the twilight still to the midnight movie.
With amazing harmonies.
Yeah.
You guys are hot, I'm telling you.
Thank you.
The night is young, the first dream comes,
Listen.
paid by tender.
Such soul.
Was a tad we done. Does it give me the look and the know you ain't playing? Don't need words I can read a babe.
Daniel Mason, the
Yes,
voice.
sir.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
Welcome to the dining room table.
Dude,
It's
I love
so
it,
good
man.
to have you here.
You too. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here, man.
American rock and soul. So,
Yes,
guys,
sir.
think about like, you know what? You think about like, I think about Hall and Oates, and you guys do a version of.
We do, yeah.
You Make My Dreams Come True.
Yeah.
And the Doobie Brothers with a song that never gets old, Long Train Running. You guys put all the horns and stuff.
yeah.
By the way, those are out there on your Spotify page, and I want you guys to check it out because it's just really good stuff. But you're an amazing songwriter too.
I try to be.
I think the first time I saw you might have been at Randy's Revival here
I
in
think
Nashville.
so, yeah.
And you stand out as a songwriter, not only your great voice and your great songs, but you got a guitar with a very unusual pick guard.
Yeah.
It looks like Kentucky. And as a matter of fact, it is.
It is Kentucky.
It is Kentucky.
It's everybody points it out every time I play.
Every time?
Which is cool. I mean,
it's kind of your thing.
Yeah, you know, I had a guy that used to play bass in our band a couple years ago actually modded guitars.
Huh?
And I had this idea. I was like, man, I got this idea because some states work, some don't in Kentucky. I was like, hey, man, could we like somehow put the state of Kentucky on my pick guard? You know, he's like, oh, let's try to figure that out. So we measured it out, blah, 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 whatever. Long story short, man.
That looks great. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
Yeah.
There. So you are from Kentucky originally.
I am originally from Kentucky, yes, sir. Paris, Kentucky. Yeah.
And a little time in Georgetown?
Yeah. When I was about 15, my parents moved to Georgetown, and they're still there. They're still in Georgetown. So,
But Bourbon is in your heart. Bourbon County.
It is. Yeah, I graduated from Bourbon County. Yeah, man. So
Yeah. Very cool. Things I know about Georgetown are from like when I lived in Cincinnati 25 years ago. The Bengals practice there. Do they still? I think
they still. Well, that's
not.
a good question. They do. The last time I looked into it, they still had the practice field here.
And I remember there was a Toyota plant there. I think they're Lexus now too. They're in Georgetown. So.
Yeah, Toyota's the prime spot for Georgetown. That's
really
when
is.
you think of Georgetown, it's like, oh, Toyota. Yeah.
So you're a Reds and Bengals fan, are you?
What's that?
Reds and Bengals fan?
Yeah. I'm definitely a Reds fan for sure. I grew up playing baseball, so.
Did you?
I did, and was on a pretty decent little team when I played t-ball the last 2 years. I played 3 years of it, and the last 2 years we actually won our little World Series thing.
Hey,
so we got. My dad was a big Reds fan, baseball fan, and we got to go to games, throughout the year because we were winning little tournaments, and I was in the All-Star games. And
that's cool.
It was fun, man.
But music won out, huh?
It did.
Is your family musical? Where'd you pick it up?
Not yes and no, I should say. My mom, later, when I was like in high school, she started singing, like gospel music. Huh? I guess it'd be Southern gospel.
Southern gospel, okay.
And there for a while, she would sing in the church, and she got to a point to where there was a Southern gospel group that was kind of touring locally there in Lexington, Kentucky area.
Okay.
And they actually started inviting her to come play and sing places they would go. So she kind of got into it, and then she kind of just got out of it. I mean, she didn't want to try to go like big into it, but she was a bit of a musical influence for me, but
is that where you get that amazing voice?
Yeah, I don't know.
Your voice is incredible.
I had a lot of friends. I think it started in middle school. I had a music class, and these were like real cheap plastic nylon string guitars. And the teacher, we actually had like this little semester of learning to play songs.
Yeah,
and it was like. Wow. You just hold one finger and play 3 strings, to play the chords and just slide like this. But what was crazy is that some of my friends that actually knew their parents played, they were over in the corner playing Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh man, I want to do that. No, I'm serious. So like I went home and just begged.
How old are you then?
12 maybe-ish.
Wow.
I was like right into middle school. And I begged my mom and dad to get me a guitar.
Yeah.
I still have it.
My
first guitar, it was a little Harmony.
Oh, I remember those
nylon
guitars.
String.
Yes.
It was kind of a mini,
I have a red, white, and blue one upstairs.
And I'm not even joking, man. Just like Brian Adams says, I played until my fingers bled. And I'm not kidding. Yeah. I mean, I wore my fingers out, built some calluses, and had a neighbor that played bluegrass. Uh-huh. And he come over and help me tune it, show me how to tune the guitar, show me a few chords, and there you go, man.
The rest is history. When did you start writing?
I started writing probably junior year in high school, probably. Mm-hmm. I had a good friend of mine. We connected musically. Good. And just started singing together, and that's kind of where the music started for me. Started playing around with write my own stuff, taught myself how to harmonize. I would sing along to the radio and find harmonies and stuff like that. And so, started out just kind of doing more of like an acoustic kind of thing. I started when I got out of high school and then right into college, I was playing on the weekends. I was playing in bars I wasn't supposed to be in. I was too young to be in them, but I was playing in these bars.
Sounds familiar. That's
playing like in cover bands, just on the weekends and stuff and having fun. Yeah, man.
I want to talk about the band, Brother Maven.
Yeah.
At one time, wasn't it the Daniel Mason band?
It was originally
different members.
Yeah, because I was kind of in and out of a few bands, and then they didn't kind of pan out. But I decided, I was like, man, I've written all these songs, and I just want to get them out there. Yeah. And the best way to get them out is just to do them yourself. So I kind of started a band, and I had a few people that were like, hey man, we'll keep playing with you. I had a few guys I was hiring out. Mm-hmm. I was just like, man, I'm just going to do my own thing. Yeah. I got to a point I was just like, man, I'm just going to get these songs out. I just want to get them out.
You're going to do you.
And, what happened was, it's kind of interesting, the story, because, and again, it's hard to tell the story because, like, there's no ego here. It's just, I do what I do, and I try to be good at it. Yeah. So I'm out there performing, and I had a guy playing guitar for me, and he's, like, telling a friend of his, which is Joel Burns.
Yeah. He's your drummer.
He'll love the story. But how he came into the band, he was the first. Mm-hmm. And the guitar player was just like, hey, man, dude, you've got to come see this guy. You've got to come see him. He's a great singer. He's got great songs. You got to come see him perform. So he just invites Joe. Joe had just moved to Nashville. I mean, he hadn't probably been in Nashville for 6 months or whatever. I mean, he's good enough to like go on tour with whoever he wants.
Wow.
He's that good. But there was something in him about like, hey man, I want to create my own music too. I want to do my own thing. I want to build my own legacy. And anyway, so he comes out to a show and he's like, dude, I got to be that guy's drummer. I mean, I'm not kidding. So we auditioned him. He's amazing. I'm like, wow. So he's been a part of the band ever since. And wow. JP was a guy.
This is JP Presley.
JP Presley, our guitar player. Just kind of giving you the history real quick. He played at a worship event at church with Joe. They were like playing together in their church band or whatever. Wow. And we were looking for a guitar player, and Joe was just like, hey, there's this guy, he's an amazing guitar player. I played with him at church, I can just ask him to come jam. And he's the youngest. And he comes in and he's all like, man, I love what y'all are doing. But he's all kind of like, I don't know what to think about this, Yeah. His dad, he played guitar. His dad played guitar and taught him how to play, but he kind of grew up on that Southern rock, CCR, Eagles and Doobie Brother. He loved. So we all had this like common love for that style of music,
Yeah.
That classic rock,
the Southern
harmony, Southern rock, just the rock and roll, folky, Americana. I mean, just that mix, that
absolutely.
That Muscle Shoals kind of vibe, where it's just where I come from.
T-shirt on right.
Oh yeah,
Your Honor.
Heck yeah, man. So I come from the soul side. I'm not really a country singer per se. I don't do the twangy kind of thing. I love country, but
in listening to your music, and say this was my workout music this morning.
Yeah. Cool.
Listening to the 2021 album, which is an amazing album. It's out there.
Thank you.
Folks, you want to stream it. It is fantastic. But, we talked about like the Doobies and Hall & Oates, but you know what else I hear? And I hate comparing artist to artists. And I love that you created your own genre, American rock and soul. But I hear Ray LaMontagne. I hear Amos Lee, Chris Stapleton. Are these people that were influenced that you listened to?
Oh yeah, Van Morrison, man.
Van Morrison. Yes.
Oh my goodness, I
love Van Morrison.
Huge fan. Just that. Oh yeah. Oh, totally influenced by these people.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, of course, Chris Stapleton was a little late to the scene for me. Yeah. I mean, I love him.
I do.
He's a great writer, singer. I mean, who doesn't like him? I mean,
got his own bourbon right now, so you've made it when you get your own.
No, exactly. And it's kind of funny because I'm kind of glad for people like him, to be honest, because he's kind of maybe he's helping country get back to where it needs to be. But he's kind of got like the bluesy kind of rock kind of vibe, too.
Does. Mm-hmm.
And I'm very similar to that.
Yeah.
I do come from the country, but I kind of grew up listening to pop, soul music, rock and roll, and it, that resonated with me better. So
that's where all that soul comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you pick up that guitar? And I want folks to hear you sing. We had just a little touch when we listened to some Brother Maven songs. But Dan is an amazing songwriter and a great performer too. So and we'd like to get under the hood on the songs, my friend. Yeah. So tell us about something. You want to do one of the ones that you got coming out pretty soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it off with this is an acoustic version, of course. I don't normally play this one acoustic, but I'll do it for your show though. Okay. This song's called Lucky Man.
Okay.
And it's going to be our next single.
Is it? Okay.
It's supposed to. We're in the mastering stages, I think, of it. That's about where we just had some mixing done. Yeah. So about to release it.
Cool.
It's just I wrote this song with Mark Ham.
I don't know if, Mark.
Do you know
what
Mark?
A great guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Came to Mark with the idea, and we went to town on. We wrote it pretty quickly, but we just kind of started talking about how lucky we were to have the things in our lives, and what are all we're blessed. We're lucky to have the women that we have and the families we have. So that kind of where it came from. And I had this more like rock kind of verse, like, man, I wanted to be kind of rocky, And so that's kind of where it came from. I'm just a lucky man,
Just a lucky man.
So yeah.
All right.
We'll see what it sounds like on the acoustic, man. Like I said.
You're going to be great.
Yeah. There's no question, she's one in a million, a lucky roll of the dice. A seventh heaven, that's what she's given. Every minute's just another sweet surprise. Well, it feels so right on the edge of being wrong. Good Lord, I'm barely hanging on. Ride me easy, ride me steady. Kind of love makes a grown man cry. Ride me easy, so get ready. Give me love, keeps me satisfied. Ooh, I'm a lucky man. Ooh, a four-leaf clover, over and over. A lucky man can't ignore, no. That kind of loving keeps me coming back for more. But it feels so right on the edge of being wrong. Good Lord, I'm barely hanging on. Yeah. Ride me easy, ride me steady. Kind of love makes a grown man cry. Ride me easy, so get ready. Give me love, keeps me satisfied. Ooh, I'm a lucky man. Ooh, I'm a lucky man. Yes, I am.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You all right? The voice.
Oh,
Man,
dude.
you are just killing that song.
I had to. I didn't even warm up for that.
Oh, blew me away. Daniel Mason is
Yeah.
our guest. It's the Songwriter Connection podcast. What a song. What a voice, man.
It's a rocker, man. I mean, we don't normally do that on acoustic, so that was
love it.
definitely
yeah.
different.
I bet you the band brings a whole new...
Oh, it's different for sure. We got like a little guitar hook, man.
Yeah.
3-part harmony on that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's out by now here in March. I don't know, but soon.
Yeah. It should be out by March, I think.
Brother Maven. You
Yeah.
know, tell me about the name. How'd you get... What? I was
gotta
going to
get
find
this
out the
right.
story behind the names.
I gotta get so
Brother Maven.
Yeah.
M-A-V-E-N.
Yeah. Well, the four guys, I mean, we're kind of like a brotherhood. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not biologically connected, but there's like spiritual connection.
Yeah.
We have a lot of
Brothers
common,
from another mother.
Yeah, that's right, man.
There you go. Yeah.
So, we have a lot of common, commonalities like in our lives and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And so we're sitting around thinking about what we're going to do. Like, we're trying to come up with a band name, because, like you said, it was kind of like the Daniel Mason band, and then we were like, no, we want a band, man.
Band. Yeah.
So Maven comes from, it's actually, the word means someone that pursues excellence.
Wow.
So, like, if you're a Maven, like, if you're good at something, you could say, I'm a Maven. Like, I pursue excellence, to be excellent in something. No matter what you're doing, a trade or whatever, you can be a Maven at something.
There you go.
So it kind of worked, because we were trying to think, we kind of felt like we wanted brother in the name. And then we were like, okay, well, Maven sounds pretty cool. Let's put those together. So really, it's just, we thought the story of that is great. It's like a brotherhood of guys that are seeking excellence in the music, in our craft, and what we're doing. So yeah,
That's awesome.
that's where it comes from. Man.
And we have the bearded Maven with us,
Yeah.
Daniel Mason with the amazing voice. I wish I could sing half as good as you. You're
bro,
amazing.
thank you, man.
Thank you. See, I'd be twice the singer I am right now. Pretty amazing stuff. And Daniel's also an award-winning songwriter.
Yeah.
Tell us about the contest that you won. Share that with us, that story.
It was season 4 of Nashville Songwriter.
Nashville Songwriters.
Yeah. And came into Nashville. It's funny. This is that story I was going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the story.
Tell me
It's
the
funny.
story.
I have to tell it because it's hilarious. Well, it's funny, but it's true. So I entered this contest. I was in Nashville for about 2 years. I had just moved here, and I was like, man, maybe I'll enter this contest just to kind of get out there, get known, and just get my music heard.
Good thing to do.
So I get in there, and I won it. I ended up winning it. which was a big deal to me. I was like, oh,
Heck
man.
yeah.
So it kind of
validation for what you do.
A little bit, yeah, try to be humble. But I'm like, man, I guess I'm pretty good at this stuff, I guess. So I won it, and I got to do a round. The winnings was like a cash prize and like a gift card and stuff like that. And then I got to perform a round with Win Varble.
Love me some Win Varble.
And Leslie Thatcher.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, these are huge,
amazing songs.
These are powerhouses, man.
Yes, they are.
So I'm like nervous, Win
has been on the show. We'll have to get Leslie one of these days.
Oh, man.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. She's a country girl. Mm-hmm. So I'm performing with them and everything, and we get done, and everything's fine, and they're super sweet and everything. But Leslie comes up to me. Here's the story about it. I was going to tell you. It's hilarious. So Leslie comes up to me. She's like, "Oh, honey," and she's got this real country. Yeah. You've met her. She's like, "Honey, you got a great voice. Oh my goodness, it's so good." And I'm like, "Thank you, man. I'm trying to be sweet." And she goes, "Man," she goes, "So you won this contest, huh?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I did." And she's like, "So how long you been in Nashville?" I was like, "Well, I'm going on 2 years." She goes, "What?" She goes, "You only been in Nashville for 2 years and you won a contest?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I did." She goes, "Well," this is what she said. I swear, it's been with me ever since. She goes, "Well, honey, you just keep on trucking." She goes, "It took me 10 years to get my first cut, so good luck."
Good luck.
I was like,
only 8 more years to go, right?
Well, it's funny because when I first moved to Nashville, there was a guy that I met with, and I'm not even kidding. He goes, "Do you want me to give you the 3-year, the 5-year, or the 10-year conversation?" Because I'm asking him all these questions about, what do I do?
Yeah.
And it was funny. So it kind of made sense in a way.
Wow,
you kind of got to get in line in a way. I mean, you could be here for a short period of time and have some success. I'm not saying that, but most of the time it's like, hey, get in line. I was here first.
That's right. That's right. Nashville's an interesting town when you come here. We've talked about this in the past. You find your tribe. You find the people that you really click with.
Yeah.
First, you ride around a lot. It's kind of like dating even at first.
It is. It's a very good way to put it. Yeah.
Because you're sharing inner thoughts and experiences, and you're trying to put it to melodies, finding a good hook, finding a good thing. But it doesn't always work, does it?
No, I've had some horror stories, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've too. I've written with, when I first came into Nashville, like I think I was telling you earlier, I wrote with a ton of people.
Mm-hmm.
And,
me too.
And sometimes, man, like you find those people that you really click with, and then you find some that, you're just, it's a one-off,
right.
Or, then there's some that are like, oh, I ain't never writing with them again. And they feel the same way. It's like, there's this thing, because like when you don't get the call back or you don't get, it's like, okay, maybe that didn't work out. But I've had some crazy ones, man. I wrote with, I'm not going to say their name, but wrote with this person one time and we just stared at the walls.
A lot of co-staring.
Nothing was coming out. Like I had an idea and he's like, and then he showed an idea. I'm like, and then we just like nothing for like an hour. And I'm like, we literally looked at each other and went, I think we're just, all right, see you, man. All right, see you. And
then sometimes you get in a room with someone and boom, it just clicks.
Oh, it does,
and it
man.
Just comes out of you,
Yeah.
I don't know what the chemistry is behind that, how it works.
It's spiritual,
but
bro.
When you have it, you stick with it, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, there's the craft, of, being able to put together some melodies, your progression, and then creating melodies, and there's talent there. And then of course being a lyricist, being able to like kind of put those together. But there's some kind of chemistry and something special about when things kind of come together.
Yeah,
it's unless you're a songwriter and you understand it, you it's hard to explain, really.
It really is.
It is.
Yeah. You just go with the flow when it's happening.
You do, man.
You do.
That's
you
right.
Do. Well, can we get one more song before the break?
Sure.
And then I want to talk more about the craft and what you do. Daniel Mason's our guest of Brother Maven on his Songwriter Connection.
All right. I'm gonna do one that's off the 2021 album.
Good. Love that album.
All right. I think you've heard this one before. The Highway?
Yes, I have.
So this is an older song, but it's a good one. It's a good acoustic one.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it's just a song about the highway knows where to find home. When things don't go right.
That's right.
So.
Awesome.
I recall Sunday morning May 95. You standing in the driveway with tears in your eyes, and you said, baby, I love you, but I won't wait. It's the last words I heard before I drove away. Yeah, I was blind, should have changed my mind, but I was a fool for leaving you. The highway knew where to find you, where to find you. Oh, I've got no excuse, 'cause the highway knew. Yeah, the highway knew where to find you. Yeah. That highway sign now haunts my mind every time that I pass by. I still taste your lips, the goodbye kiss. Reminds me every day of what I missed. Yeah, I was blind, should have changed my mind. Yet I was a fool for leaving you. Oh, yeah. The highway knew where to find you, where to find you. Oh, I've got no excuse, 'cause the highway knew. Yeah, the highway knew where to find you. Ooh, oh, yeah. Oh, what was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. Straight up and out of my mind, I left true love behind. You moved on while I was gone. Yeah, the highway knew. Ooh, oh, yeah. The highway knew where to find you, where to find you. Oh, I've got no excuse, 'cause the highway knew. Yeah, the highway knew where to find you. Yeah.
Daniel Mason, what a great song.
Thank you, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
playing it live around the dining room table. You know, this is where my favorite part of the show, when we get to do this. Now, the version on the album is 2021.
Yeah.
And it's streaming everywhere. And if you want to check the fully produced version, go ahead and do that. You're going to love it. But that's the way I look
The raw.
at it. The raw, yeah.
Different key
song.
Did
you change keys in that, or there was?
I
just a
did,
passing
man.
chord?
I mean, just
I love that.
Well, when I did the first song, I was fully warmed up, so I thought, well, I better bring it down a little bit, because it's actually a couple steps up.
I've noticed that in a few of your songs, that, and I do love a modulation in a song.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, when appropriate, and you guys do a good job of that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to take a quick break, and
Sure.
we're going to come back and learn more. Daniel Mason and Brother Maven.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection with Dave Linehan. Find us on Facebook and YouTube at the Songwriter Connection Podcast, and find Dave at thedaveconnection.com. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Yeah, that website, by the way, has got connections to this show, always the latest show, and it also has my radio show, which is called the Nashville Connection. I'm around a little radio station in southern Illinois, so you can check that out as well. All the latest news, what's going around Nashville. And, of course, we're on YouTube as well. Now, we're not a video podcast, and I say this time and time again, but you got to be on YouTube if you want to do anything. And we can really use your help in subscribing and liking, if you would, and help us spread the word about Songwriter Connection podcast. As of this past week, we just hit 1,500,000 streams. And that's thanks to you spreading the word. So I can't thank you enough for that. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Daniel Mason is with us, and it's so good to have you here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your friends always call you, they call you Daniel or Dan or Danny?
Well, I mean, it's a mix.
It's a mix.
It's usually never Danny. There's a few people that call me Danny, but family either calls me Dan or Daniel.
Danny or Dan. And your friends too, Dan?
Yeah, most of my friends call me Dan.
Dan?
Yeah.
All right, Dan. Dan the man.
Dan the man. I get it all the time, man.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dan with the plan. Oh, yeah.
Dan with the plan, right? Yeah, you're a songwriter, so everything's got a rhyme, right?
That's right.
You guys have just come off a residency at Cat 10.
Yeah.
In downtown Nashville. If you're not familiar with that, it used to be the Wild Horse Saloon, and it's now the Luke Combs place. And when Luke took that place over, they totally remodeled it. It's amazing inside.
It is. It's top notch.
It looks like a hurricane. You're in
oh
the
man,
right?
it's top notch. I mean, and we got a tour before it was finished, and yeah, man, Luke put a lot of himself in it. Actually, I heard that he was a lot of hands on, and man, believe me, it makes sense.
It's him all the way.
Oh, it's very cool.
Yeah. And Cat 10, because I guess he says hurricanes only go up to 5, and of course he had that big song, Hurricane.
Yeah.
But he said we're going to double the fun. So it's Cat 10. You must have a blast playing there, huh?
It's oh no, for sure. It's anytime you're playing downtown, man, it's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of people, it's a tourist spot. A lot of people come in, and you get different people every once in a while. You build a nice fan base. But yeah, it's always exciting to play down there, man.
And of course, before that, you guys played a lot at the old Wild Horse Saloon.
We did. In
fact,
man.
this article I read today, and I'm throwing it everywhere. Talked about how
this is live.
Rich and Laura Lynch talking about how you guys were the favorite band that they saw and all that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, it hits everybody differently, but we built some long life friends and fans through Wild Horse before that, since you're asking about that. But I mean, when you're playing in Nashville, and then when people find out, because a lot of the, when you're playing the honky tonks or you're playing the downtown, people want covers and they want to hear some country. So, you got to play it. But when, they allow us to throw in some originals,
Well, that's
we
nice.
kind of do like a 60-40. We'll throw in some originals and stuff, and people hear it. And the people that love music and really care about the bands, they'll come up, and they'll be like, "Hey, man, we've heard your stuff. That's why we came to see you." And and then we try to find a lot of Brother Maven shows too. Just like we just did one this past weekend at Fox and Lock in Leapers Fork.
Leapers Fork used to be the old Puckett's original.
Yeah, it was the original, and the original of that original was actually called Fox and Lock.
Was it first? No kidding.
Story. It was it was like a.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a cool place. You never know who's going to drop in there to watch.
Oh man, it's awesome, and we are blessed, man. We had a sellout. We had a sellout crowd.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. It was a sellout show, and we had done that before there last year. I think it was in June or July. We had a show there, and we had another sellout. So we got a lot of local people that are really into what we're doing. We got a lot of support, and it's awesome.
There's a lot of famous people that live in and around that area, and so you just never know.
Oh man, you never know who's.
Last time I was in there, this guy comes walking in,
Yeah.
and I go, "God, he looks just like." Oh my God, that is Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Well, you got a farm around there or something.
Yeah, I mean they do open mics there too, and I went to an open mic there one time, and
Mark Hamm keeps telling me I got to come down.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Judds just walk in.
Yeah, they just walk in. Yeah.
So like, I mean, and when that happens, sometimes they'll take over the show. There'll be people be like, "Get up here and do one, man." I think Carrie Underwood was in there a couple months ago or something. She walks in and
tell me that's not intimidating.
It's it's intimidating. I heard like Justin Timberlake bought some land out there too. So,
Yeah.
you know, not to get everybody's hopes up. I don't know if he goes in there,
Yeah.
but I heard he's out there.
And they got
too.
pretty good food in there too. They really do.
Yeah.
Tell us what the band's doing these days. You guys making new music, right?
We are. Yeah.
We can expect a new album from you this year? And
Well-
will it be 2025?
It's interesting, and I think the guys would be okay with me saying this. The thing is, we're not really releasing an album. Mm-hmm. We've been writing a lot of new
you're bringing
music.
this up. I want to get into that.
A lot of artists would disagree with this, and I like the album thing, but man, the problem with today. And I wouldn't even say it's a problem. It's just the way it's going.
It's a singles world. Isn't it?
It is,
Yeah.
you know, and like, so we decided what's kind of been working for us is we've been writing a lot of new music. And then instead of like kind of doing a full album, we kind of been releasing them as singles.
That's a good idea.
And then once we kind of reach a certain amount, we'll kind of put it together in a project to
There
sell.
you go. Yeah.
So,
you still print CDs
yeah.
or no?
We do, and we've sold out the last couple times.
Good.
We sell. I mean, there is people that still buy them, but it took a while to sell them, and unfortunately, people don't.
Yeah,
Most
vinyl?
people are downloading.
You available on vinyl at all? Have you thought about that?
You know, we have thought about it.
I love vinyl. That's why I asked.
Yeah, we have thought about it.
I was a disc jockey, that
And we've had a
actually
lot of people
spun
ask
vinyl.
Ashley,
Yeah.
you know, hey,
Yeah.
do you have vinyl?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
have vinyl?
Yeah.
It's just I think the problem that we run into there is that we're kind of like in this place where we wouldn't be able to sell enough for
It's
it to make
expensive.
sense to do it.
But you know, I found
It is expensive.
It is expensive,
It
and you
is,
got to sell
yeah.
them for $30 or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is. But you know, there's a new company out there, and I can't think of the name of it, but I'll find them again. That are doing it. You don't have to buy them up front. The merches. People can go to their site and buy your record. They'll produce it and send it to them.
Oh, wow.
And they give you a portion of it.
Okay.
I haven't looked into it fully and see if that's cost. It sounds like it'd be more cost effective, but I don't know how much of that you're getting. You know, so.
Yeah.
But there are companies that do, and there's merch companies that do.
Yeah.
Do you guys have merch available?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, and you can find everything about us, social media, our
Yes.
videos, our merchandise,
Tell 'em,
everything.
brother. Tell 'em.
Through just brothermaven.com.
Brothermaven.com.
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
mean,
site. Yeah.
yeah.
Photos, everything.
And of course, you know, come to the live shows. We sell merchandise there too.
There you go.
But
Yeah. T-shirts and hats and things like that.
Yes, sir.
And of course, CDs,
Yeah.
music, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You need to see a Brother Maven show. They're really fantastic. Yeah. So, you also do a lot of songwriter rounds and things here around town, don't
I
you?
do. I mean, I originally moved to Nashville to be a songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go out and perform the songs that I was writing. And people would come up and go, hey, man.
That's right.
You got a great voice, man. Do you got music out? And I'm like, no, I'm just a songwriter. And the more I would perform, you know, I used to be in a band back home before I moved to Nashville, and we toured around and did festivals and stuff. And so I was a performer, so I wanted to write songs, but when I would perform the songs.
Yeah.
You know, some people just write and they're like, here's the song, but I would perform the songs.
Yes.
So
And there's a difference.
it come to get me, man. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't get away from the artist thing, and was in and out of a few bands in Nashville, and kind of landed on Brother Maven, and the rest is history, man. And I still do the rounds. I still do them. I mean, I don't do as many as I used to, but I still do them. I still
It's
do
always
them when I can.
a treat to see you out.
I enjoy it.
It really is. Last time I saw you was, again, Randy's Revival.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first place I saw you. Or was it...
I was going to say, because
it was...
the first time I think I actually met you, you may not remember, it was with Mark Ham.
With Mark Ham, okay.
And you were hosting a writers round around this area.
Around this area, right.
And
That's
I can't,
Keys.
I can't remember. It's been a while. I
been a
can't
while.
remember the name of the place.
It was called 12 Keys.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's when I met
Yep.
you the first time. I did
Yep.
just more of a hey.
That's right. And you
And
played a couple
Mark
times.
invited me.
Didn't we meet at the Gatlinburg Songwriter Festival at one time?
Maybe.
Was it?
Maybe.
I want to say that might have been the first time. Maybe.
Well, I think
it was Mark.
I think Randy's is where we actually really got to know each other, like through Hal and
Hal O'Dell.
Hal O'Dell.
Yep.
Big fan of him, and
Great
we
writer.
write music together. He's
Yep.
got after this after these new releases, he'll have 3 cuts with us, with Brother Maven. So,
man,
yeah,
he's something. He even wrote a theme song for the 12 Keys show that we did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Wednesday night at 12 Keys.
Oh, very cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's still out there somewhere. Yeah, he's just an amazing guy who's also been
I love
on the podcast.
Hal's great.
Tell me about this young artist you were writing with, Raina Roberts, huh? Tell us all about Raina Roberts.
Yeah. So, of course, I've had some small successes, and and stuff like that. And I got connected to her through at the time, the guy that was managing her, and then the publishing group, he knew that I wrote songs, and he had heard some of my stuff. He's like, man, Daniel's a good songwriter. We need to bring him in to write with her, because we're trying to get her a hit or just get out there. Mm-hmm. So she needed music. She's from California. And she comes to Nashville, and she's really pumped about doing the Nashville scene, and we're trying to write some country music for her. And so we wrote this song called "Country Goes Where I Go." Oh, now, granted, it could be a different name now. I don't know. I mean, again, you know how that works.
When you wrote it, it was.
So it was called "Country Goes Where I Go," and so yeah, I mean, wrote the tune with her, and at the time she was kind of doing a small kind of thing. She had probably maybe 20,000-30,000 followers at the time. She's kind of building her fan base. And then about a couple years ago, I think it was a couple years ago, she I think it was a TikTok or an Instagram reel. She did this little performance, and it blew up.
Wow.
And Reba McEntire, love her, man.
Yeah.
You can't,
you can't not love her.
She saw her perform it, grabs it, reposts it, and was like, oh, this girl can sing, kind of like that, and that was enough. Oh, boom, it blows up.
Viral. And
she goes from like 30,000 followers to like 500,000 followers. Yes. And she ends up performing a thing. I think she did like a duet with Luke Combs at some kind of benefit concert.
Wow.
For some country thing. And she blew up. So they rushed her out, and it's just like any, artist that's getting attention. They're trying to get songs to her. They're trying to build an album. They're trying to build singles, or they're trying to get her out. She's getting out. She's performing and opening up for a few bands. They're putting a band together. A buddy of mine, Chris Klontz, is like started playing music with her. And actually Chris was a part of that, right? I didn't want to forget that.
All right.
Chris Klontz and Raina and me, we wrote that song together. So, yeah. And the last I heard, lonely songwriter over here. I'm doing my thing. So I don't stay too deep into it because I'm doing my own thing, doing the artist thing with Brother Maven. Yep. But, the last I heard, her publishing company reached out to me. We signed a few documents. We signed a few things, and they said that she was going to release it. So pretty excited about it. I'm not 100% sure when it's going to be released.
Yeah.
If it may have, I haven't got like any confirmation yet, but like I said, I don't keep up with it as much as I should probably.
You're too busy doing other things.
Whoops, I'm exposing myself. Yeah.
Well, good luck. That's great. Yeah. I'm happy to hear that. A little cutting. I think she's got a bright future. That
and I hope that if that song resonates, maybe it might open a few more doors for us. So.
Well, you never know. Yeah. I think your amazing voice opens up a lot of doors. I imagine when you first came to town and people heard you sing, everybody wanted to write with you all that. Yeah. I remember having to follow you at Randy's revival. Yeah. And I'm like, no, Randy, don't do this to me. Like, thank you, man. Yeah, thank you. Good night, folks. I'm leaving. End of story. End of show. So,
thank you.
How about picking up that beautiful Martin with the Kentucky? And that's the one and only guitar right there.
Yeah, man. It's most definitely one of a kind, man. With the pick guard here. So
I'm gonna take a little video.
Yeah.
What do you want to sing? Get under the hood here.
What am I singing? I'm gonna do another single that we're about to release this year. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into a song that probably be released later into the year. We perform it, so it, but this song's called "The Goods on Me."
The Goods on Me.
And I'll tell you a quick story. There is the songwriting, story behind it. I was watching Good Will Hunting,
Okay. Love that
And,
movie.
you know, Robin Williams is sitting down with Matt Damon, the characters, you know, and he's talking about his wife, you know, she had passed or whatever. But he was saying, he's like, oh, man, he said, she only knew the little things only the things that we knew between each other. You know, he's like telling you all these stories. He's like, but she had the goods on me. And I was like, oh, that would be great. Right, that would be a good one. So this is kind of what come out of it. And so I always tell this joke when we're performing. It's like, well, I'm about to expose the things that my wife only knows about me. So it was like this. She knows I like the right side of the bed. Black coffee is my morning cigarette. And I sing so loud in the shower to the music in my head. That girl could write a book with all the things I forget. Yeah, she's got the goods on me. Yeah, she's got the goods on me. I like to sit and talk to closing time. And she'll take my keys on those double bourbon nights. And when we get home and we lay down and she turns out the lights, ooh, everything is alright. Yeah, she's got the goods on me. Yeah, she's got the goods on me. All the bones in my closet, every scar, every fear down underneath. All the love in my heart, every hope, every dream, every fantasy. She got the goods on me.
I've heard you do that song before.
Yeah, man.
That is so catchy.
And man, I have to say, I wrote that with Hal O'Dell.
Hal O'Dell.
Yes, sir.
Again.
Yeah.
What a great guy. One of my favorite guys. Well, just fantastic songwriter. Dude, you got to go on. You do got the goods. You got the goods.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So what's next for you? What do you think?
Well, believe it or not, man, I don't want to go too deep into it.
Okay.
The guys would kill me if I did. But there is some things brewing. Mm-hmm. There is some agencies that are interested in maybe working with us.
That's great.
We've been putting a lot of work and effort into it. So we're finally getting a little bit of attention. Our numbers are starting to really grow a lot. We're getting some attention, and that's exciting.
Yes, you are.
And we might be, there may be some management that's looking to maybe working with us too. So there's some things happening. We've been having some meetings down on Music Row, believe it or not.
That's good. Y'all need to get on the bandwagon right now.
Well, there's still people down there that believe in the music that we're doing. You know, like I said, we're not really, there is some, that Southern rock element in that. There's a country vibe.
But it's so much more than that.
But it's the blues, that Muscle Shoals, that soul. I'm more of a soul singer, but anyway. But yeah, man, there's some things brewing.
That's good. We'll keep an eye on it.
We're excited.
They can find you on all the socials.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yeah.
Daniel Mason, but also Brother Maven.
Yeah, if you go to it's Brother Maven everything. Everything. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And as long as it lasts.
It might be off.
We'll see. But you can find us brothermaven.com. You know, that's
check it out. Follow these guys.
YouTube, everything.
They're ones to watch. Daniel, thank you for taking the time coming to be on the show.
Dave, thank you.
Always
I
good to see you
appreciate
and
you,
hear
man.
you play, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, totally.
And when I tell you here at home, what I always say, it's right on. And what I mean by that is WRITE. Right on. We'll catch you next time on Songwriter Connection.
We hope you enjoyed this intimate glimpse into the world of songwriting and found inspiration in the stories shared by our talented guests. Remember, the magic of music lies not only in the notes and chords, but in the emotions and experiences woven into every lyric. Until next time, keep listening, keep creating, and keep the melodies alive.